afternoon folks, and welcome back to my channel. My name's Lee, your virtual airline pilot, back with you again for the first of this week's reviews. It's getting close to the end of April now. It's the 28th of April 2025 is the date of this review. Where are we? We're in Europe, we're in France, we're actually on the coast here, and this is Calais Dunkirque Airport in France, Lima Foxtrot Alpha Charlie. This is a payware scenery by AGSIM, and this is version 1.1 for the PC version of Flight Simulator 2020. Once again, there is a 2024 version available too. Download comes in at 1.25 gig and it installs at 2.3 gigs. It's currently available from a variety of vendors. You can get it from Orbx, Simmarket and Flightsim.To. Certainly for UK users, Flightsim.To seems to have the best price, which comes in at £10.26, which equates to roughly $13.69 US or €12.17. The above prices are estimates taken from the UK pound, and they include tax or VAT at 20%, which of course could vary depending on which country you're in when you make your purchase. I've wanted to review this for a while. It's been out for a little while now. It's another small airport right across the channel from the UK that's regularly served and also served by airline flights on a seasonal basis from time to time as well. Despite the shortish runway, just over 5,000 feet, they still have airliners come in here, which is kind of interesting, but there you go. To be honest, it's a lovely little model. There's lots of little models, little features on this that make it a really interesting small airport to look at. This little truck goes in and out of the hangar here, and you've got animals over here in a paddock. You've got people as well. There's a lot. I think that there really has a lot going for it, this little airport. That said, so let's look at some of the features. So features: 3D buildings created with details. As we said, Flightsim 2024 ready. It works with 2024. You've got open hangars with parking lots, vegetation and layout arrangement. Special details around the airport. There's actually quite a lot to see. 3D people, a living atmosphere, helipad, accurate ground and traffic signage. And as you can see from this shot, you've got the fence line, various little vehicles, some small light aircraft positioned here and there. It really does sit really well in the countryside here. I can't find a GSX profile of any sort, I'm afraid, so it doesn't look like there is one. But there we go. Okay, so that's the details. Let's have a look at the history of this airport. Okay, history, and I hope you'll forgive my pronunciation of some of these things. Hopefully I'll get it reasonably right. So Calais Dunkirque Airport, also known as Aérodrome du Grand Calais, Calais Dunkirque Airport, Aérodrome du Marc, Calais Marc Airport, Lima Foxtrot Alpha Charlie, is a public use airport owned and operated by the Communauté d'Agglomération du Calais. I'll put that up so you can read it. The airport is located in Marche, or Marc, some 4 miles or 7 kilometers east-northeast of the town of Calais, in the Pas-de-Calais department in the Hauts-de-France region of France. The airport also serves Dunkirk, a commune in Nord department. In the 1950s and early 1960s, the airport was busy with cross-channel services, including car ferry flights by private airlines such as Silver City Airways and Channel Airbridge, a company to be merged later into British United Air Ferries. On the 9th of July 2015, an Airbus E-Fan landed at Calais Dunkirque Airport after a flight from Lille Airport. Initially, this was claimed as the first electric aircraft across the English Channel, but it has since been pointed out that there were many previous such flights, including one as long ago as 1981. Calais Dunkirque Airport is now often used for pilot training and occasionally hosts aviation events. Also, a lot of tourist charter airlines still fly into this airport on a regular basis. With 9 parking lots and numerous hangars, this airport is located right at the south end of the English Channel and is an important location for the region. So there you are, some history for you. As you can see, the airport sits beautifully in the local terrain. You've even got the farming fields and the tractors here. From first look here, it's a beautiful little scenery. So that was a history. Let's have a close look at this runway and see how it compares with the charts. Okay, so runways. So it's now 6:55 or 5 minutes to 7 in the morning local time. As I said, 28th of April 2025, the date of this video. We've turned the lighting down so you can see the runway better. So Calais Dunkirque operates a single runway 2406, measuring 5,036 feet or 1,535 meters, and it's made from asphalt. The airport lies at an elevation of just 12 feet or 3.6 meters and sits within the GMT UTC plus 1 hour time zone. Now France does indeed observe daylight saving time or DST, and so with both the UK and France now 1 hour ahead onto the respective summertime, the airport's currently just 1 hour ahead of the UK. So here's the runway in front of us. We're looking down the throat of runway 24, which features high intensity runway lighting and high intensity airfield lighting system. There are no precision approach path indicators, no centerline. Now the chart shows approach lighting for runway 24 only, which actually certainly appears here. It looks like there's a shadow of the approach lighting, but it clearly doesn't look like it's switched on. Now I have turned the lighting down to darkness and there is still no approach lighting seen. So that's the one thing that's missing. Everything else is as it should be. No PAPIs, no centerline or approach lighting or touchdown zone. None of that is on the chart and it's not in the scenery, so that's correct. But the chart does show approach lighting for runway 24 only, and currently that's missing. So approaches for runway 24, you have an RNP approach only, and that's basically it. Okay, let's have a look at the other end, runway 06. Okay, so here we are looking down the throat of runway 06. I've changed the time to 5 minutes to 9 in the evening, so we don't get the sun blasting at us from this end. As I said before we moved, no approach lighting on the chart for this end of the runway. It's only supposed to be on the runway 24 end, and there you can see just kind of like a shadow of where it should be, but in the scenery it doesn't seem to be operating. Anyway, runway 06 features the same high intensity runway lighting. It also has runway end identifier lights, and they're in the scenery and they're on the charts, but they're not at the other end, which is again is correct. The runway end identifier lights are only at the 06 end of the runway. Approaches, there are no published approaches, instrument approaches for this end of the runway. It's essentially VFR only. There is a preferential runway system. Essentially you use runway 24 when able. So providing the wind and the conditions don't dictate otherwise, runway 24 is the preferred runway for landings and takeoffs. So no jetways at this airport, so let's get down to the sim proper, bring it back to daytime and have a tour around what we've got here. Okay folks, welcome back. So it's daytime, it's actually midday local time. Here we are back at Calais Dunkirque Airport. We're going to start with a slow pass over the central area, which is what most people are interested in, and then we'll look at some of the outlying features of the scenery. So you can see the lovely wooden fence line below us, and the grass textures all looks really good, as indeed it should. Also, I believe is the fire tower. But as you can see, no expense has been spared on the detail. There, landside, you've got a paddock with horses in it. Here's the fire station itself, and all the buildings are done in really high detail. And airside looks really lovely. There's lots of detail here, lots for you to see, to look at, to bring this to life, as it were. There you've got a landside, sort of like a little restaurant area. And here's the departure area itself, complete with people. And as you can see, it looks great. It really does bring atmosphere to this place. And here you've got some hangars. The very end one there is open, so you could park your Cessna or your light aircraft inside. We'll actually go and have a quick look. Yeah, there you go. There's room enough, certainly room enough to park a nice light aircraft inside there, certainly. So a quick pass in the other direction across the main ramp. And it looks really nice. There's my VAP Air Cessna 172. It's very nice indeed. So as we head out towards the taxiways here, you've got blue airfield edge lights, and there to the right you can see various bits and pieces. Here you've got another fenced off paddock here. And it all looks pretty good, even in in this sim. I bet it looks a lot better in 2024. But it all looks pretty impressive. We'll just head out here just to have a look at some of the taxiway signage. And it's the attention to detail with the off-airport bits and pieces that I really like too. So once again, quality signs on plinths in concrete, not just slammed into the grass. Very, very nice indeed. And there, as I come up on a high level shot, you've got 2-4 threshold to the right there. You can see there's other bits and pieces on the other side of the runway there. And there's another overview of the airport itself, and here you've got other outlying buildings and things for you to discover. And here you can see the Chevron trucks, they follow the roads. A little bit on the grass, but not complaining. And there you've got another one there that's just come out of that building. Let's see if they safely pass each other. Yes, indeed they do. There's a couple of glider boxes. And there you can see we've got a hangar with a Cessna inside being worked on. Wonder if this guy's going to reverse in there. We'll see. But let's continue our little look here at some of the outlying bits and pieces. Various hangars. And now we come landside of the property. And there you can see a view looking back over where we just came, the airside fence with the gate. And we've got a young lady sitting out here enjoying the sunshine. So here's the paddock. There you've got people and horses, some of them animated, which is nice. Let's go closer to landside. And here you've got the little airside restaurant. All nicely done with people. I mean, this is a lovely scenery, it really is. So coming back to landside, you've got landside car park with various vehicles, all parked in their slots, and again some people dotted about, which really bring this to life. And it's quite a nice range of vehicles as well, not much repetition. Well, it all looks good, doesn't it? And here's the hangar that we saw at the other end, which is open and you can go inside. Again, no attention, no expense has been spared with the detail here. It's really good. So here we are out in the fields, not far from the threshold of the other end of the runway there, and you've got these vehicles that are doing grass cutting. Now earlier on I did see one of them animated. There was a third vehicle that I saw, I'm pretty sure I saw animated. I'm not sure where it is now. Maybe it only appears at a certain time. But again, the detail's lovely, they look really good. I mean, they just look great. I'm certain there was a third one that was actually animated at some point in the scenery. But it may well be time specific, I don't know. So just a high level shot across the threshold of 06 there, really just to show you the terrain and the way that this airport blends in. And they've done some modelling and changes, but it all looks pretty nice. And just looking in the other direction, you know, the scenery fits into the terrain in the fields and everything looks really good. It fits really well, it just looks lovely. Okay, so a couple of close-up shots of the main ramp, which is what you guys would be interested in. Here's my CESSNA 172 painted in my livery. They've got animated flags as well. So there's a fire station, a couple of fire trucks there, another grass cutting machine there to the left, and that all looks pretty good. So we've got one engineer type guy on the top there, and you've got there's no real internal development inside the tower there, but it is modelled. There's the fuel station, or one of them. You've got a couple there. There's one over there to the right hand side. And here you've got a little, like a sort of outside restaurant come seating area with various people. And here by the main terminal, exactly the same. Some people standing around, and you've got a couple of engineer guys with the baggage on the little vehicle further up there, which is good. And that's pretty nice, isn't it? So here you've got a gate which gives access to airside from the landside area. We'll go out to landside, have a quick look. And I just like the sort of look and feel of this place. So here we are, landside of the terminal. Got a few people by the car park. There's a couple there by the bus stop. It's great, it's really nice. So a quick look over the little outdoor restaurant area. There you can see you've got waste bins, people sitting here. This is lovely. So finally, let's look at the horse paddock. The horses are animated, actually very nicely animated. That's a nice animation there, it's almost realistic. And here you've got some more with a couple of people. This is a nice touch. Very nice indeed. As we pass this car park to the right here, you've got the entrance road to the airport. Which all looks pretty good actually, looks pretty impressive. A couple of notable buildings out here. This is a lovely full-featured scenery. Sort of thing I like to see very much. Again, the foliage plays a big part. So we track back into the airport via the airport road here, just so you can see the signage, what it looks like on this side. Again, it's all been fully featured and fully done. really impressive. Very nice indeed. Really no complaints. It's just wonderful scenery. This looks like it's been on fire at some point, but that's just the darkness of the building. It's really nice scenery. Okay, so that was the airport during the daytime. Let's bring it down to dusk now and have a look at the lighting. Okay, it's 8 minutes past 9 in the evening local time. Today is the 29th of April 2025. I started recording a video yesterday on the 28th. Lights came on about 3 minutes ago, and this is the view from high level showing you the ramp area, which looks really nice. It's actually quite subtle. Lots of drop lighting had the right effect here. It's very, very nice. And you've got some lighting out there on the road. Be interesting to see if they've managed to knock out any of those SOBO globes. Here we are looking out to the runway. You can see you've got blue airfield edge lights. You will need nose gear taxiway lights to help you get from the runway if you're coming in at this time of the day. You can see the sun sinking on the horizon there. And there we are looking in the other direction. There's the fireplace, the fire station down below us, and you've got the paddock there with horses as well, and the runway threshold over there to the far left. So a quick look at the threshold towards the runway, just mainly to look at the lighting effects. Again, no problem with the runway entry signs, and you've got these little, I presume they're electrical boxes also that have lighting. Okay, so a quick airside tour. Again, all of these buildings have lighting, drop lighting of various types. There you've got lighting opening up the hangar, or the paddock for the horses. And here's the main ramp. Lots of nice subtle lighting. Certainly airside looks very impressive. And there's lighting in that hangar, which is good. Okay, quick tour landside. Once again, some lovely lighting. I don't see any SOBO globes, so that's really impressive. Again, the paddock and these areas are lit by the street lamps, just as they should be. No artificial globes of any kind floating around. Once again, the airport entrance, some nice subtle lighting. Even out this far, they've managed to remove all the globes. And as you can see, you've got some nice parallaxing here on some of these buildings. We've got one globe out here, but that's the only one that I can see. But as we head back in, it's lovely. This airport looks really beautiful. Very nice indeed. So once again, just a couple of quick close-up shots of the ramp. There's the fire station. And there you've got one of the fuel pumps. There's the airside part of the restaurant there. It's just very nice. Very nice indeed. I should imagine there's bits and pieces not far from this place that you could explore here with a light aircraft or a helicopter. It would be fun to take off and do a couple of little VFR flights somewhere nearby. Would be really nice. Just a quick view to show you my Cessna 172 all nicely painted. And there's the open hangar on the far end of the field there, to which you can stick your aircraft in there. Again, all nicely lit, nicely modelled. The quality of modelling on this little scenery is top notch, it really is. So just a high level shot looking away from the airport landside. Here's the airport entrance. These are the buildings we looked at where they've got some parallaxing, and as you can see there's more to see out here, more to explore. And they're looking towards the west where the sun's gone down. There's also even more to explore out there. So that was dusk. Let's drop it down to night time now. Okay, it's 10:15 in the evening local time. As you can see, all evidence of the daytime or the dusk sunset is now gone and we're in pitch darkness. The ramp looks good, there's plenty of lighting there. It looks like you probably could use this airport at night, although there are no published approaches at some point, as it's basically VFR. You should really be able to make a night approach. So there you've got a well-lit runway, and you've got pappies at one end of the runway as well, so you could make an approach in the darkness if you're qualified enough to do it. So we have a little close-up tour of the airside ramp. You know, it's a wonderful little scenery, it really is. And I have to say, to be honest, at the price, it's a bit of a steal. There's so much development gone on in here. Okay, they haven't done the inside of the terminal, but the rest of it, everything you need, and landside, which often gets overlooked, has been beautifully modelled. The interior of the terminal would be the last thing to add to make this really special. But you know what, it's special anyway. It's very, very nice. It's just a very nice model project. Things like this just, you know, bring it to life. It's lovely. There's a lovely modelled landside. No silly globes floating around. Very, very nice, subtle lighting that just does the job. It's beautiful, it really is. Very nice indeed. I love this little airport. Okay, so that was a tour from the night time. Let's bring the dawn up. If I'm in the right position, the sun should come up behind me. Okay, 6:45 in the morning, and here we are looking across to airside from the landside in the east part. Sun's coming up, and you've got this, again, lovely red glow on everything, which really just heralds the dawn. Really beautiful. Just lovely. Wherever you look, it's just really nice. Looking out towards the entrance, you've got a church out there in the distance as well to the far left. Like I said, there's probably lots of things to be explored nearby and not so far away from this airport. And there, looking towards the east, the sun comes up ever so gently, and you've got the paddock in front of us with the animals enjoying the sunshine. Okay, it's 7:45, it's an hour later, the dawn's well on the way up now, early morning. Time to give you my thoughts and conclusions. First off, straight away, I love this scenery. Okay, it's not necessarily an airline destination, and many of you know I do quite a lot of airline flying. But I also like to get the helicopter out now and again. As you can see, I've got my own Cessna 172 painted as well. So I do like to do some of that, especially when I go bush flying in Africa. But this is another one of those little gems of an airport that's had so much work and detail put into it for such a ridiculously cheap price. I mean, just under £11, just under $14 just over 13 euros, or just under 13 euros. This is a beautiful little scenery. It's worth a lot more, to be honest, even without the internals of the terminal or the buildings done. There's an atmosphere about this airport that exists in a handful of other airports by top developers. It's very, very nice, thoroughly recommended. Plenty for you to see. It's time to get something like the CESSNA or a helicopter, go VFR on a nice day and do a little bit of exploring, or practice your touch and goes. It's just lovely, it's beautiful. It's a very, very nice scenery, really well modelled, and to be honest, highly recommended. If you want something different, this is it really. And it's a ridiculously cheap price. It's a steal in my opinion. Very, very nice. So there you are, it's Calais Dunkirque Airport in France, Lima Foxtrot Alpha Charlie. It's a payware scenery by AGSIM, and it's version 1.1 for the PC version of Flightsim 2020. This also works in 2024. Downloads 1.25 gig and installs at just over 2.3 gig. It's available from a variety of vendors depending where you buy your sceneries. You can get it from Orbx, Simmarket, Flightsim.To. Certainly for UK users, I found that Flightsim.To has the best price, £10.26 or $13.69 US, or €12.17. Those prices are taken from the UK pound, and they do include tax or VAT at 20%, which makes it a lot more palatable as well, I think. You don't have to add VAT on it. And that, of course, will depend on whichever country you're in when you make your purchase. A whole host of features, lots of 8K PBR texturing going on all over the place, and also I suspect lots of other things around the airport for you to discover. So thanks for joining me, folks. Hopefully 2 more videos to come out this week, one of which will be an adventure landing on my world tour into Cairns in Australia in the 737. Hopefully I'll get that out as well before the end of the week. So thank you for watching, thanks for joining me. If you've been interested in this and not too sure, I hope this has helped. But for all of those who look at scenery quality and don't just want to do airline flying, this is certainly something for you to consider. It's ridiculously cheap, and it has so many features within it that make it more than palatable. So thank you for watching. My name's Lee, your virtual airline pilot, taking a break from airline operations today to have a look at this wonderful little scenery in France. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye for now.